G'day, I'm Joel Crean. This is Weeknights coming to you from Victoria Park in Shepparton tonight. Well, we're catching up with Mayor Jeff Dobson in just a tick because we're talking about a light upgrade to the park to bring night skaters in and competitions as well. But also tonight, Emily brings you to the discussion and events from this week's Dairy Conference. Plus, she'll be back later on with the top 10 things to do this weekend if you've got some spare time in between Christmas parties and shopping. And the call has again been put out for blood donors. We'll have more on that for you soon. Peter Cardamoni's got some big announcements and details on major signings. We'll get to sport later. And Julie is about to head off on holidays, but she stuck around to bring us today's news headlines with an extra big smile. How you going, Julie?
That's right, Joel. It's the last time you guys will have to put up with me for 2011. First in news tonight, a report is being prepared for the coroner after a fatal collision in Finley. A 64-year-old man driving a Ford sedan died at the scene after his vehicle collided with a B-double truck on the Newell Highway yesterday afternoon. Anyone with information on the crash is urged to contact Crime Stoppers. To Shepparton now, where police are trying to track down a group of males who stabbed a 37-year-old man near McEwen Reserve. The victim was asked for cash by the group and was bashed and stabbed when he refused to hand it over. Anyone with information is also urged to come forward. And as many as 10 teachers could be lost at Go TAFE in Shepparton because of budget cuts. $1.2 million in funding has been axed from the local campus, according to the Education Union. Union boss Mary Blewett wants a review of the skills reform policy. Stick around, I'll have more headlines for you later on in the show.
The Murray Dairy Business Conference was held this week with dozens of experts from all corners of the field coming together to discuss issues facing farmers and the industry more broadly. Emily Whittam was there and she filed this story for Weeknights.
Planning for the future was one of the key discussion points at yesterday's Murray Dairy Business Conference held at the Moama Bowls Club.
We've brought together a range of experts on some of those issues that are really relevant in the operating environment, water, carbon, new investment strategies, those sorts of things that farmers are considering given all the change we're going through, but also given at the moment with water availability, we're in a reasonably favourable space and there's some optimism there.
The conference addressed key issues impacting the dairy industry and potential solutions.
There'll be some discussions around some of the key challenges that the industry is facing, so around people, around some of the technology challenges, some of the new technologies that are becoming available over the next 5 to 10 years. So it should be a very informative and quite an exciting day.
Managing Director of Dairy Australia, Ian Halliday, says leaving aside financial strategies, carbon farming and the potential impacts of the Murray-Darling Basin Plan, an issue the dairy industry faces is obtaining members.
One of the challenges the industry is facing is just attracting and retaining and developing people. Many agriculture sectors are facing similar challenges, and I think the industry's got some good programs. People in Dairy is a great program around helping attract and retain people, and then linked to that we've got the National Centre for Dairy Education.
Forums such as this are an important part of maintaining the high standards of dairy farming here in the Goulburn Valley.
It's one of the key regions in Australia for dairy. It's certainly had its challenges in the past 10 years with drought, and but this year so far in this financial year to date versus last year, the region's up about 11% in volume versus the prior years. So it's starting to come back as far as growth is concerned. So that's good. There's been a number of new entrants back into the region. So it always has been a very important region for the dairy industry in Australia, and we see it continuing that way.
An idea has been put to council to install lighting at the skate park to make it, well, more usable throughout the year. Jeff Dobson, our mayor, joins me down here tonight. It's a great idea, Jeff.
It's a great idea. It was put to us by a young person who lives around town, and it's an idea that we've been thinking about, actually, that this is such a great facility right in the middle of town, and it opens up a hell of a lot of possibilities, competitions and events, and obviously bringing tourists into town. You never know where it might finish up.
Absolutely, and it's a popular spot too for skaters as well.
It is, and it's a good healthy sport. I mean, the kids here got to be pretty fit and healthy, and I get worried when I look at them because I wouldn't like to be doing it myself. But no, it's very popular down here. We want to continue that popularity. It blends in well with our lake behind us and the parks and gardens. So I think the tourist possibilities, I think competition possibilities. It's a healthy pastime for the kids. It gives a sense of belonging for the kids, and I think, you know, you can't beat that.
Absolutely, and competitions would be fantastic. It is just a concept at this point. What's the stage that we're at?
We've got a public meeting tonight with a few people. We want to put the idea and see if there's any questions around it, and if generally speaking we can get some traction with the youngsters that they want to be involved. Look, you know, we're right behind it. It's probably $50,000 or $60,000 or $70,000 worth of costs involved, but
and where would that funding come from?
Well, we would fund it. We might look for some grants, but initially it would come from the council. But we think it's such an important issue. We really want to tease it out and see what the kids think. Get their advice, and if they like the idea, well, let's see what we can do about it.
And residents and businesses can also have their say in the matter?
For sure, because this is a community facility. The lights would probably go off by about 10 o'clock at night, yep. And you know, businesses want to come around and promote, and you know, food stalls or whatever. You wouldn't know where it was going to finish up, but there is I guess a mix between residents, businesses, and the kids. What's best for everybody? Let's get it all down. Let's see what the equation brings up and take it from there.
That's what this consultation is all about. Thank you very much for your time, Mayor Dobson.
Pleasure, Joel.
We'll be back with more Weeknights in just a tick. The Sikh religious group is coming together this weekend to donate blood and plasma as the Red Cross appeals for more donors to come forward. Emily Whittam has this story.
Christmas may not be one of their traditions, but at this busy time of year, the Sikh community of Shepparton is reaching out to those in need by holding a Sikh blood drive this Sunday.
We started Sikh blood drive in 2009 at the eve of our 25th anniversary of the Sikh genocide, which happened in 1984. And we started that to commemorate to our people of the Sikh religion who died 25 years ago.
Shepparton is the first regional centre the Sikh blood drive has come to. After touring Australia's capitals, it was time to take it up a notch.
So we started from Melbourne and we continued up to Sydney and then Brisbane, and then we went to Adelaide. And this year we did it nationally, like donating in all the major cities of Australia, and donating on 5th, 6th and 7th of November, and we are doing this in Shepparton, so on 11th of December.
David Wilson of the Shepparton branch at the Red Cross is thrilled with the number of Sikhs who are giving their time and blood to the cause. So much so he is opening the doors to the clinic, especially this Sunday.
Oh, well, it's fantastic that the Sikh group's getting involved, Emily. I know that they started in Melbourne and they've now moved up to Shepparton, and their donations they're giving to us is certainly helping our supplies.
Blood and plasma is always in short supply all over Australia, and while numbers are up here in Shepparton...
Well, the most important stat would be that only 1 in 30 people donate. But at some stage in their lives, 1 in 3 people will need the blood that's supplied by the Red Cross Blood Service. And look, it only takes 1 hour of your time.
Over the busy summer season, it is extra important to donate blood.
Here at the Shepparton Donor Centre, I mean, our appointments are going fairly well, but we do have about 300 appointments available over the next 4 weeks, and as each donation can save up to 3 lives, that's potentially 900 lives that can be saved from those donations.
And the Red Cross Blood Service is again asking us all to roll up our sleeves and donate, particularly between Christmas Eve and the 3rd of January, when stocks are at their lowest. To book an appointment or for more information on donating blood, call 13 14 95. Well, moving on, and it's that time again. We turn our attention to the region's fine dining and produce. This week's edition of Gourmet Valley is coming to us from the Aussie Hotel. Here's Lorena Toolman.
The Aussie Hotel is somewhat of an institution to Shep locals. Established in the 1920s, the iconic pub has the best of old and new, and it's been bringing locals together for generations.
There's a lot of people in the community that have a connection here. There's a lot of people that walk by and say, oh, look, when I was a little girl, I used to come here with my parents, you know. And we want to sort of keep that tradition alive, where people can think of the pub as part of the community.
Recent and ongoing renovations provide an aesthetically appealing place to eat and drink. Comfy dining spaces and opulent chandeliers set the scene. A private dining area in front of an open fire is perfect for festive dining, and upstairs an impressive overhaul is almost complete, which will serve as a large function space complete with private bar and expansive balcony.
It's going to be a space that you can't find in Shepparton. You know, it's got a lot of history up there. We really try and kept with that heritage look. That's really important to us. You know, capacity of 150 people sort of in a social gathering, and, you know, 60 to 70 people for a sit-down meal.
It's not just the building that makes the hotel stand out from the crowd. Manager Ken Martin says food is where they're focused.
Well, the first thing that we really concentrate on is the food and the quality. We try and source everything as local as possible.
Head chef Joe DiStefano and his team serve up modern Mediterranean-influenced fare, and they make the best of our food bowl offerings.
Northeastern lamb, beef scotch is pretty much locally. We've got a free-range pork farmer, and basically all our vegetables and fruit, 95% I'd say Golden Valley.
Starting with sun-dried tomato and goat's cheese bruschetta, the menu extends from creamy chicken and sweet corn soup and tender calamari salad to fresh seafood stew and pasta dishes, including house-made gnocchi, beer-battered fish and perfectly executed local steaks.
But, you know, everything is fresh as possible here. We cook, you know, we make our own gnocchi every day. You know, little things like that that people care about.
Sitting atop the bar, the dessert cabinet is tough to pass by.
We make all our desserts. Got a nice choc fondant at the moment. We've got an apple and rhubarb crumble tart. We use local gelatis here.
There's beers and local ciders on tap and a wide range of the region's wines.
We try and source as much local product as possible. We've got the cider on tap that's exclusively, apples are exclusively grown in the Golden Valley.
And there'll be cheers aplenty with the biggest Christmas party just around the corner. Carols by Barrels is one of the biggest celebrations in Shep. Over 3,000 people, 7 hours of entertainment by local bands, including a few Christmas carols, of course. Tickets are now on sale for $15, $20 on the night, with much of the proceeds going to local charities.
People come out, they meet up with family and friends they haven't seen for the year, and this seems like the meeting place for that. So it's a fantastic event, and of course we support local charities.
The Aussie Hotel is located at 73 Friars Street in Shepparton. They're open for lunch and dinner every day of the year, even Christmas. So you know you can drop in any time and you'll always feel welcome.
We want you to walk in the door, sit down, relax, and we'll take care of the rest. That's our goal.
Back with more Weeknights soon.
Check it out, yeah. From the moment we met, I was bred.
Here's Emily back at the Aussie Hotel for this weekend's Top 10 Things to Do.
Well, Friday has rolled around once again, and every Friday brings us a little bit closer to Christmas. I can hear sleigh bells drawing ever nearer as Christmas fast approaches. And with a wave of festive events to get you raring to go, this weekend kicks off with the GB Health Foundation Tree Fest drinks, party and Christmas tree menders auction, where they'll be auctioning off Christmas trees to raise money that will go back into the oncology unit, which is now up and running. It starts Friday night at 6:30 p.m. and tickets are $50, every cent of which goes to the great cause. And a rather quiet Saturday as we gear up for a huge Sunday this weekend. The Toolamba Lions will host its Twilight Christmas Festival at Wren Street in Toolamba. There'll be great country live music, talent competitions and market stalls, to name a few things. And it will all kick off at 4 p.m. in the evening. And train up for the Yarrawonga Fun Mini Triathlon on Sunday morning, starting at 8:30 a.m. at the Rowing Club on Botts Road. Entrants can choose 1, 2 or 3 activities consisting of a 200-metre swim, a 14-kilometre bike ride and 5.2-kilometre run or a 3-kilometre fun run. There'll be plenty for onlookers to do, with face painting, coffee and a barbecue. And another Christmas event, Carols by Candlelight at the Shelter on John Gray Oval in Mooroopna. Start at 6 p.m. There'll be a barbecue, face painting, carols performed by local artists such as Reg Paul, Leona Gibbs and Mooroopna Secondary Band and Choir. It will be a great way to end your weekend and get you in the festive mood. Well, that's all from me for the top 10 things to do this weekend out the front of the Aussie Hotel on this Friday. I'll be back next week. Until then, have a great and merry weekend.
For our Friday hit of Weeknight Sport and some big announcements, it's over to Peter Cardamone.
Weeknight Sports Report brought to you by Darryl Tweed Volkswagen and the all-new Tiguan from $32,990 drive away.
Well, I'm pumped up on a Friday night. It's Weeknight Sport. Looking forward to this weekend's round 7 matches of SCA cricket, but a big announcement coming up a little bit later on in sport. John Hallam will join us. Yes, they've signed a massive recruit, 2 big ones out at the road. Well done to them. SCA cricket, round 7. Let's have a look at the matches. Katandra in 10th spot, they take on Tatura in 5th. It is, well, there's some star players. Jed Wright, his highest score for 2011 and 12 is 82. And let's be honest, if they don't get the big wicket of Peter Watt from Tatura, who made 120 last hit, the biggest concern I've got between the two teams is not one player that's taken 9 wickets or more. So for me, the bat will dominate. I'm looking forward to the result come a couple of weeks' time. Shep United in 4th spot, they take on Central Park, who was 2nd. Matt Cullen, he's the star from Shep United. 208 runs with an average of 69. And he is into his, he's into his elite 40s, as we call them in cricket. Now, there's no Geordie Javaskis, and on the other hand, there's no Glenn Hart being named for Central Park. So this, for me, is going to be a tight game of cricket. Ramanuja is the key for me. He can bat, he can bowl, and yes, at the same time, some could say he could even keep Central Park. They'll win this, but it'll be a cliffhanger in a great game of round 7 cricket. And in the final game, Daniel Burness, he leads the charges for Kyala. They're 9th, and they take on Marupna, who are in 6th spot. My concern for Marupna is who's going to step up. Young Mullane, he's a great cricketer. We already know he's a great bowler. But more importantly, when is someone from Marupna going to make a massive score to have an impact in 2011 and 12? So I'm putting it on one of the Cats batsmen this week to have an input. You know what? I don't think they can. I think Kyala are going to push Marupna this weekend. Well, I'll tell you who's going to win very, very shortly, but it's going to be a very close game of cricket as well. Here are my winners for round 7 of SCA cricket. Tatura to win by 40 runs over Katandra, Central Park by 4 wickets over Shep United, and Marupna by 20 runs. Let's have a quick look at the ladder just before I let you go. Old Students on top, they have the bye, they're on 24. Central Park, St Brennan's on 21, followed by Karamomus on 21, who have also got the bye this weekend. And Shep United in 4th spot on 18. Tatura, they've got a big game, as I mentioned, against Katandra. They should win that. They're on 18. Marupna on 15. They need to win. Are they contenders or pretenders in 11 and 12? That's my question. Numurkah on 12. Kyala on 6. And Katandra, who host Tatura, they are on the bottom of the ladder on 3 points. Well, as I've mentioned, it's big news out of Kingupna in the Murray Football League. They have signed Tyson Sidebottom, dual premiership player from Shep United, captain, and more importantly, an ex-junior Kingupna boy. Well done, John. Congratulations, a great signing.
Thanks, Peter. No, it's been a good week for the road, getting Marcus Drum earlier in the week and straight out of AFL footy, number 10 draft pick, and now picking up Tyson, who's probably the highest regarded player in the GV. It's certainly been a great week for us.
Johnny, some would say that you guys have been on the warpath in regards to trying to recruit some key players. There's been a number of players have left over the last couple of years. Surely this is going to get some of the past players back at your club.
Well, we'd like to think so. Young players love to play with quality players, and we've certainly brought in 2 of the highest quality players in country Victoria. And the best part about it is both Marcus and Tyson are ex-Kingupna juniors. Marcus did play senior footy at Kingupna, but I think Tyson played over 100 junior games at Kingupna, and people have lost sight of the fact that he is out of our nursery, and we're very pleased to welcome him back. Well,
Kingupna signed, of course, Tyson Sidebottom. You've just joined us. There's other rumours getting around, John, and here's your opportunity to nip those in the bud. More importantly, 18-year-olds being offered 3 to 350 a game from Kingupna. True or false?
Absolutely false. I can categorically deny that. We did have a meeting a few weeks ago discussing what we do to keep our juniors, and the decision we made was that we would get quality players there so the juniors could be developed once they leave the under-17 system. We've been very hard hit by both Shepparton clubs over the last probably 10 years with our quality juniors coming in here and they're not returning to the club. So our top kids.
Well, I can tell you now they've got some stars out of Kingupna from juniors. They need to keep them, and more importantly, well done to the road. They've signed. Hard to believe, but yes, it's true. Tyson Sidebottom, he signed with Kingupna, reported a lot of money, but at the end of the day, he's a quality player, good bloke, and he's going to bring a lot to the road. That's Weeknight Sports. See you Monday.
News and weather are coming up next. This is Weeknights. the last time in 2011. Here's Julie Snook at the news desk. And just before you rip into it, Julie, hope you have a brilliant Christmas and celebrate what has been a massive year for Weeknights accordingly. Enjoy the break and we'll see you back here in 2012.
Thank you very much, Joel. It's been an absolute pleasure, but I do have to say I am looking forward to the break. Let's take a look at those news headlines now. When the woman who crashed her car on the Causeway last year, killing her 4-year-old son, will face trial. The 34-year-old from Ardmona will return to court in February. The local magistrate ruled there is enough evidence for the case to proceed to trial. Bed numbers are still a concern for GV Health on the back of new emergency department figures. Stats show there were 2,000 more visits to the ED last financial year compared with the previous. And petrol companies have been cleared of price gouging by the ACCC. It follows complaints from angry motorists sick of paying for soaring fuel prices around the country. The nation's watchdog released a report showing unleaded fuel costs and profits were 8 cents a litre higher this financial year than the last. Well, that's it from the news desk for tonight and for me for the year. I've had a great time bringing you guys your local news headlines every night. Have a Merry Christmas and a happy and safe New Year. Alexandra Bryant will be with you from Monday evening. Let's take a look at those weather details now.
Hi, my name's Brooke. I'm in Year 4 and I go to Benalla West Primary School. And I'm today's Weather Whiz Kid. Here's the weather.
It wasn't one of our best summer days today. Showers in Albury for 29. A similar story in other parts for warmer temps. 30 the high in Bendigo, 31 in Shepparton and a warmer 32 down in Melbourne. Much the same elsewhere. Rain for Deniliquin and 31. Showers in Echuca. Showers for a top of 30 degrees in Benalla and Seymour. Conditions aren't improving tomorrow. Thunderstorms across most parts. 27 the top in Bendigo and Albury. 28 the high for Melbourne and a warmer 29 in Shep. A few showers about Denny tomorrow. Storms in other parts though. 27 the tops in Benalla and Seymour. 30 on the way for Echuca. The sun is due to rise around 5:54 tomorrow morning, setting later at 8:28 in the evening. Taking a look at what's in store over the next few days, and the storms look like they will hang around for most of your Saturday. Conditions should ease after that though. A bit of rain for tops of 25 in Shep and Benalla on Sunday, 26 in Echuca, cooler temps for 21 in Melbourne. The sun will start to make a return Monday. We're heading towards 25 in Shepparton, a gorgeous 27 in Echuca. Some cloud about Benalla for 24, cooler again for a top of 20 degrees in Melbourne.
That was the weather. I'd like to say hello to my family and friends.
And before we leave you, the DPI has come up with some interesting research for wine growers and also dairy farmers. It's found if you feed dairy cows the stems, seeds and skins from wine grapes, it can not only increase milk production, but also produce healthier milk and cut methane emissions. A handy study for both lots of farmers in our region. Well, that's it from the Weeknights team from the Victoria Park Lake Skate Park on this Friday. The project is coming up next. I'm Joel Crean. I hope you have a great weekend and we'll catch you again next week.